The problem with these talking practices is that the only good time to record them is the best time to draw. So if I want to record these, I lose time on when I could draw, and that is not good. So right now I'm trying to record these when it's not a good time to draw, and hopefully that'll be better, but I don't know if there will be something to interfere with the recording. But before I talk about the drawings, I need to talk about this. And this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, I've ever dealt with my whole life. So what happens is that if you're on an Apple device and you delete something, it will be saved as system data and it won't get deleted at all until you factory reset the whole device and delete everything in it. And the problem with this is that you probably won't notice it if you don't take if you don't have too big of files. So maybe this will be 10 gigabytes or 15, but not 50 like mine. And this is because I edit videos, so that is what causes this. And what I used to do before is that I kept my device so empty, so I just factory reset every time this happened. But I've since then realized that if you export Procreate files, the data created won't preserve. So you have to manually add the date to the name so that you can preserve it in some way. And I don't want to do that to hundreds of files. It is boring. Now I'm stuck with 50 gigabytes that are just stolen from me. And what I don't understand about this is that this is a problem that has persisted for years, and it is not getting fixed anytime soon. And I just don't understand why they haven't been persecuted for this, because I think this is at the least a very bad practice, and at most a malicious attempt to get people into iCloud. So I don't understand why they just get to do this. This won't happen in any other device because they let you have control of your storage. But if you delete something on an Apple device, it will just take the deleted file to a part of the storage you can't access, you can't delete, you can't recover it. It just stays there for however long it wants to, and that is usually forever. I'm just annoyed by this because what am I going to do? There's nothing I can do except a factory reset, which is impossible because I have too many files to edit. So, I hate this problem so much that if I was in Europe and I had the means to, I would just get into law school so that I could be at least involved in suing this stupid thing. I hate it so much. And this is so stupid. I have no words for this. Because the thing is, they promote their phones for indie movie making. And the thing is, if you try to film something on a phone and you import it to your computer and then try to delete it from your phone, you won't be allowed to delete it. The storage that you get from on an Apple device is a one-time usage. Oh, it's stupid. And then there's also one more thing. So basically, if you take a screenshot like this and you open it like this, you can cut it and then save to photos. But if you had a website open as you take a screenshot, and you try to crop it here, what will happen is that it will save the entire website as a PDF file into your downloads folder. And what they say about this is that for the website PDF screenshotting, this needs to happen. But I think it is pretty easy to, if I don't press the save to files option, to just delete the PDF they created. It should be pretty easy to program. And I think why they don't do that is also a part of this, because a PDF file of a whole website can go very big. For example, I have hundreds of those because I take screenshots of Postmaniacs and forget that they have that bug. And then I have hundreds of PDFs of websites that are like 10 megabytes. And that adds up. But I'm done with the complaints. Now, let's go back to these drawings. So these are from 2, 3, or 4 days ago. I can't remember. And I ran out of printer paper, so this is just on a notebook that I had left. These are the same. I think this one was really good. And I think there was one more, but I can't find it now. This one is really good. These are the boxes and the cylinders. This is the pulse rotation. This turned out nice. This turned out nice. This turned out nice too. This is kind of icky here. Hold on. This is really bad. So that is how they go usually. There's a few good ones. One is meh and the other is very bad. This I think is the finished version of the painting practice that I was doing. Now, this is something that I noticed at the end. It looks too abrupt. I didn't want to bother fixing it, so that's said. And I mentioned that the restriction I had for the hair was completely forgotten, and you can see it here. I first actually draw them sharp like this, and then I was like, that is too busy. So I smudged it a little bit, and now it's still ugly, but it is less crowded. And there's, well, I don't know what to say. This highlight is, I noticed when importing some of the older paintings, is that some of them had the highlight too big, which caused it to look worse than it actually was. It still looked bad, but the highlight just made it worse. So I'm glad I made this tiny. This nose, I don't think it is properly in perspective. I think I painted it quite nice, especially this part. It looks like nice. And I don't know why, but this looks like she's licking her lips with her tongue, like she's doing this. This is her tongue. I don't know how to show it. Like she's doing a blip. And I don't, she's supposed to be eating, that is why her cheeks are like this, but I don't think I managed to get it. This part of the hair is not painted because I was done with it, and it's too far back that you don't really see it. And honestly, the clothes are not as bad, but this part is too flat. Like, doesn't look like it is a shoulder that is doing this. It just looks like a piece of paper. But this part of the hair, excluding this, is nice. Well, what I decided after this is that I will paint balls, like the weird like this one that I showed before. I painted a ball first and then use it to paint actual stuff. That is what I'm going to do. I will paint a ball for each of the colors and use those to paint the piece. And I am also going to continue with the no texture basic brushes restriction. And maybe I had more restrictions. I don't know. I also don't know when to start with randomizing light sources, light colors, and all that stuff. I don't remember. I don't know. The thing is, when I added this umbrella, but when I cut it to her face, it looks way too empty here, and the umbrella thing doesn't make sense. Maybe if it was curved like this, it would have been better. It would have been better, but that is the thing is, I'm not going back and fixing any of these. I'm just talking to have some critiques. And this ear, I forgot to paint it. Yeah, so it stays like that. And then this part, I think I forgot to erase. Anyway, that is all for that painting. This one is something I started, and I mean to do them daily, but I don't manage to. And what I do is I roll an activity and then try to draw it from imagination and rotate it inside boxes. But as you can see, the most important part of this is this stickman part, because if I don't have that right, it just will look stupid overall. And these just remind me how little I know about how we move our bodies. So I need to pay more close attention to that. And now the day is over. This is all I drew in a day, and I'm unemployed without a job. And this is all I draw in a day. Quite shameful, if I might say so. And this is the other day, which is the 5th, I think. And I am still on the notebook. I don't have printer paper. I got printer paper the day after this. And as you can see, the thing I mentioned about moods is actually quite right. These are way better than these, or the ones I showed before, because they just depend on my mood. I like this one too, this one too. This is kind of weird, but I like it. This is definitely a figure of all times. This is nice actually. I like the back. And let's see. I like this one. This was the weirdest pose I've ever seen on Pose Maniacs. Sometimes they get the refs from the wrong P website. This is a joke that I did 2 years ago. I'm still making it. And it probably doesn't read as a joke for other people at all, because I'm so... And this is the boxes. I forgot to erase the X's, so they look a bit less clear, but... And this is the pose rotation exercise. And as you can see, it looks like shit, because I was not able to think. The weather has been better. I mean, the degree has been lower, but I think what happened is that the humidity went up, so I sweat way more. I don't know what happens. Maybe there's something wrong with me. No. Or with my room. I'm not sure. But it has been annoying despite the weather seemingly having gotten better. And this is just, as you can see, I'm just suffering I can't think. And it definitely shows in these practices. And this is a half-done practice of the imaginative pose. I drew this, and the day after I rotated it. The thing is, if I get passive actions, there's not much to draw. And if I get more active actions, then I can't draw it because I don't know what they are doing. So I'm just suffering in every option. And this is a comment that I got 19 hours ago. And I really, this is my favorite comment that I got on TikTok, because there are definitely weird comments on TikTok, but this is the best one I've got. And what makes it funnier is the username. I didn't threaten people to do poses forever. What I was saying is that if people like them, I would spam post the most boring content ever because I like getting likes. But people misunderstood it to be a threat, and I'm confused. What makes that, like, isn't it obvious if I do them all the time that they'd be boring and repetitive? But what they mean is it has been 3 to 4 months of me posting the same stuff, and I have already been doing the same exercise for the 3 months prior to that. And the thing is, I'm going to continue this rotation, not this one. Wait. Oh, this one. The rotation exercise for until it has been a year. And then I'm going to continue with these until it has been a year, or I need to get a job. I don't want to get a job, but I like this comment, and I want to put it like the as the YouTube banner. I just thought of this, and I'm going to do it. But this is all I had to say for these 2 days, and I think if I have yesterday's work, I think this was on the 5th. I gained a brain, and I decided to use the lasso tool to just finish these up quickly. And there are some problems with it. There are some jitters, but that doesn't matter. I'm too tired, and I fixed this afterwards too. I just didn't save it. So this is the last one I exported, and the one here, that is from the next day, so I can't show it. I realize why I start these every single time, even though they make me suffer. It's just so much fun to just do this at the end. And I think this was that day too. I don't remember. Yeah, I drew the character. I'm going to make the hair jump and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to change the head much. But I drew the legs, and the thing is, the draft wasn't like this, but as you can see, the legs jitter a little bit, so I don't know how to fix that. Maybe I need to change the frames fully, but I'll think of a situation. I'll think of a solution. If I can find it. Here. If you look at the hold on, let me do this. If you look at the black leg, look at this one. It doesn't jitter at all. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, I understand the problem. The sketch was jittering too. It's just that since my lines weren't clear, I couldn't see. I'm going to be very happy to be finished with this one. And let's come here. And I think I didn't talk too long, so I can just I can just do the next day too. So let's come here. This, as you can see, I reunited with the printer paper. And what you'll see is, recently I just started using an oval for the neck sometimes. And I don't know if it helps. I started it because whenever I drew the boobs, they would look funny. So I started just drawing the underlying rib cage and then adding the boobs on top. But this is the male model, I think. So I don't know why I added it. I think it became a habit. This I think looks nice. This too. And the others are not so much. This one looks nice too, but it looks like the did I do the snow fighting pose before or after this? I don't remember, but they look similar. The look, it shows that it is really entirely dependent on my mood. These are the boxes again. And this is a pose rotation. Now, this is a pose that I have done at least once before, but I still did it because it's kind of a hard pose. And this looks really bad. This, I guess. And these three are decent enough. This looks bad. And this is just, what is happening here? I don't know. But they're really bad. The thing is, I think I could have done a better job the same day if I just... But I guess that is how it's going to be until winter comes. I hope winter comes soon. I'm just so tired of hot weather. I hate it. And this is the rotations of the pose. And this, I had two sketch passes for these. One with boxes, one with the anatomy. And then I line it like cleanly, like this. And they look decent for my level, I think. Because these are my very first attempts at doing this. So it makes sense that they would not be too good. And the problem with laying poses is that there ends up being less difference between some of the rotations. So that is, look, these look almost the same. And I had problems with making, it was that easy, I think. I had problems with drawing the arm here too. Maybe I just need to draw it all with boxes properly. As you can see, I didn't draw much either. So the other thing that I drew that day is the lines. And as you can see, the neck jitters a little bit. So I think what I will need to do is draw a circle around it. Or maybe, I don't know. It's kind of problematic. It's hard to do. So I don't know. I'll probably just liquefy a little bit. But even though I duplicated the file and deleted the old layers, it still lags. So that might be a bit hard to do. But I think, and what I realized is that I really did a bad job at the start of the study with the reference studies, because I focused less on how the muscles affect the outside look. So I'm kind of lacking in that area, and I think the orange is under the pink muscle, but it's still, for the outside look, it still makes a difference. Like it's, for the outside, it still does this, even though the orange muscle is under the pink muscle. So I probably, when doing the reference exercises, that should probably be a more, when doing the reference exercises, there should be a bigger focus on also the outside look and how the muscles affect them. So instead of drawing on top of references, I think you should draw the reference on top. You should, whatever, dude. I don't have the words. And this is all I drew the last 3 days.